Good afternoon, everybody. My name is William Downs. I'm the new president of Gardner-Webb University. I'm on day 3 of my presidency. I'm the 13th president of this university. Apologize a little bit for the technical difficulties that we've had. We're starting this a little bit later than we had anticipated. But listen, folks, we've received many great questions from you in the Gardner-Webb community, and I'm going to do my best to answer as many of those as possible in the limited time that we have here today. And I'm just going to go ahead and kick this thing off. And our first question says, tell us a little bit about yourself and your family in about a minute or less. So I am a North Carolina native. I grew up in Raleigh. I went to that Red School in Raleigh, went to NC State, majored in political science, minored in journalism, and went off and did my graduate degrees at Emory in political science, my master's and my PhD. I come to Gardner-Webb most recently having served as the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences at ECU, which is the largest of the 10 colleges and schools at ECU. I'm very proud of my family. I've been married to Kim Harwood Downs for 30 years this August. Kim and I go way back. Met Kim in elementary school. We went to the same Sunday school class. She ran against me for 5th grade class president and beat me in a landslide. And I swore that I would get her back, and I did. She went to the Blue School in Chapel Hill. She's a pharmacist. And I think she's going to be a great first lady for Gardner-Webb University. We have 2 young adult children. Our daughter Rachel is a first-year dental student, dental school student at ECU. She graduated with a degree in chemistry from the University of Georgia. And our son Bradley is a rising junior at NC State. He's following in his old man's footsteps. He's studying political science at NC State, and this summer he has an amazing internship in the state senate there in Raleigh. So that's us in a minute, and you'll learn more about us as we get deeper into our time here in Boiling Springs. The second question that I received is, what drew you to Gardner-Webb? And the best way I can answer it is to say there are 3 clear things that excited me and excited my family about Gardner-Webb. The first is the mission, the second is the people, and the third is the location. In terms of mission, this is just an incredible place that combines rigorous academic programs with a focus on spiritual growth. And we here are able to educate the whole individual and make sure that our graduates are not just ready for their careers, but also ready to make meaningful lives. And so that's a very special mission. Second thing that was drawing us to Gardner-Webb is the people. The folks here that you'll meet in Boiling Springs and Cleveland County, some of the nicest people in the world. They're friendly, they're focused, they're caring, they're compassionate. They're also fiercely competitive when they need to be, and that's something I like. Very strong sense of community here. And even, I would say, a sense of family, and that's something that's drawn us to Gardner-Webb. I think we have an enviable location at Gardner-Webb. We're in the rolling foothills of western North Carolina, close proximity to Charlotte and Spartanburg and Asheville. Just beautiful place, beautiful campus. Kim and I have very deep family roots here in western North Carolina, so we feel very much at home here in Boiling Springs and in Cleveland County. So thanks for that question as well. Our third question comes from Donald Behringer, and Donald asks, Gardner-Webb has some really great online degree programs where people can learn from anywhere and at any time. With your experience in online degree programs, what are your plans to help Gardner-Webb expand beyond the Western Piedmont to markets across our state and across the United States? And that's a great observation, Donald, and a great question. So Gardner-Webb really does have some distinctive and very popular online degree programs. At the undergraduate level, we have about 13 or 14 completely online degree programs that help students complete their degrees via distance learning. And these range from everything from elementary education to healthcare management, criminal justice, and nursing. These are nationally recognized online degree programs for their high quality. At the graduate level, we've also got a number of flexible and I think very affordable online degree programs in business in education, in English, nursing, and sport education. And the point that you make, Donald, about being more aggressive and expanding our market, that's really on target. We have been much more aggressive about saturating the market advertising, in particular our 10-month MBA, Online Masters of Business Administration program. And I've been really proud to see across the length and breadth of this state billboards advertising the 10-month Gardner-Webb MBA program. There was one right outside ECU's campus in Greenville on Highway 264. You can see these billboards as far south as Atlanta, and you can see that enrollment and interest and applications for our online business program have been going through the roof. And so we're very excited about that. The marketing's paying off, the enrollments are coming, and we're obviously going to need to do a lot more in that kind of area in the online market. So we're going to look and see where we have some strengths. We're going to look and see where society and our community has some unmet demand and unmet need. And we're going to be smart, we're going to be aggressive, and we're going to market the heck out of those programs and we'll get them online. So thank you, Donald, for that great question. The next question we received is from Brian Morales Gonzalez, who is a current student. Brian, look forward to meeting you. Brian asks, would Gardner-Webb be interested in partnering with outside scholarships to help provide high-achieving students with scholarships to help cover the cost of attendance? Another really, really good question. And the short answer, Brian, is yes, absolutely. We have to be, and we are increasingly sensitive to issues of affordability here at Gardner-Webb. And we've got a very extensive range of scholarship options available to our prospective students. Some of these are offered by the institution. Others are products of gifts from very generous donors who want to invest in the success of our students. This May, in one single day, we raised more than $227,000 solely for student scholarships. And that's just a drop in the bucket, but it shows our commitment. It shows the willingness of people in our community to give to student scholarships. This past academic year, Gardner-Webb allocated $28.3 million in institutional aid to offset the cost of attendance here. So we are absolutely committed to talking to anybody who will help give us the resources to help make college more affordable for our students. So Brian, trust me, we are hard at work and very sensitive to the question that you raised, and I appreciate that. The next question that I received is, what is the best piece of advice that you have ever received? You know, folks, sometimes things that are trite tend to be really true, and I think the best advice I got kind of borders on trite, but ultimately it was true. My boss at ECU said over and over again that good teams always win. He preached teamwork to me and my colleagues in everything that we did. And you have to understand, folks, that sometimes in higher education you go through graduate school and you are taught and trained in this aggressive individualism. So you come out kind of focused on self. And as I've grown up and become an administrator and worked in higher education, best advice has been to move away from focusing on the individual and very much focus on teamwork and building strong groups of people around you who are committed to each other and committed to the institution. It's amazing, in my view, how much you can accomplish if you really don't care who gets the credit for it, and that's really proven true to me, and that's the kind of philosophy that I hope to bring here to Gardner-Webb as well. Strong teams will certainly win anywhere you go. So, next question I receive is from Sherry Jackson, and Sherry asks, what are your thoughts on a potential restructure of departments on campus? Sherry, thank you for that question. It's a fascinating question. I certainly don't come here to campus with any preconceived plans on how we're going to restructure our departments. That said, what I've just now entered into is a fairly lengthy process of aggressive listening and learning and finding out what works and what's efficient and what works best for the organization of the university and how we can best deliver our services to our students. So if restructuring can increase student success, then you bet we will look into it. I'm on my third day at Gardner-Webb, and so in the weeks and months ahead, I'm going to do a lot of listening. And Sherry, if you've got some ideas of how we can best achieve some of that restructuring, I'd love to talk to you and see how we can improve the way we do things here. So I think you also had a follow-up question, and it's a great follow-up question. You said, do you have plans to revamp the website in order to make it easier for folks to navigate around Gardner-Webb? And I'm really, really glad that you asked this one. Just this past week, I and a number of other folks interviewed 3 outside companies. 3 companies that want to get our business and redesign our website. Make it a website that better reflects our mission, something that's more helpful to our prospective students and our current students and other people who want to know what we're doing here at the university. And so we've heard from 3 vendors. They've made their pitches, and we're going to spend some time thinking about those alternatives, and I think we're going to select one of those companies this month. And then we'll start a process of redesigning that website, migrating a lot of information over to the new website, and then rolling it out. It'll take a little while, but that's a process that we've now got underway, and I'm excited about it. I think it's really going to help us project the dynamism and the forward-looking and forward-thinking of this university as we move into the future. So thank you, Sherry. The next question I have is from Marvin Morrison. And Marvin asked, the question that's on everybody's mind, and that is, do you anticipate increasing tuition? And Marvin, that's one that we really think hard about. And one of the things that I'm really pleased about is that before I got here, the leadership at Gardner-Webb earlier in 2019 decided to place a freeze on traditional undergraduate tuition for the upcoming academic year. I think that was a really smart thing to do. And so the students coming in August of 2019 are paying last year's rate. We did not raise tuition for our traditional undergraduate programs. And so what we're going to have to do, and it's not just Gardner-Webb, it's every university, and they're even debating this at the presidential level. You can hear some of the presidential candidates talking about mountains of student debt and making sure that higher education is affordable and accessible. We are going to take a data-driven, comprehensive, thoughtful approach to looking at our price point here at Gardner-Webb. We're going to look at where our peer institutions are, and we're going to make sure that we are pricing our tuition in the right way. We don't want to do anything that compromises what's exceptional about a Gardner-Webb education, but we want to make sure it's accessible, and we want to make sure you get good value for the money. So thank you for that question, but I have no immediate plans to raise the cost of tuition here, and quite the contrary, we're going to look at ways to make sure that students can afford it a little bit more easily. Next question is, what do you see as the biggest challenges and the biggest opportunities ahead facing Gardner-Webb? And I tend to think that challenges are simply opportunities in disguise. And in many ways, Gardner-Webb is a hidden gem. And that's a challenge. I came from the eastern part of the state, and I told folks in Greenville, North Carolina that I was going to Boiling Springs and Gardner-Webb University, and they said, what, where? They don't necessarily know who we are here at Gardner-Webb across the state, across the region, and across the country. So that's a challenge, but it also provides us an opportunity to get creative and entrepreneurial and aggressive about pushing our brand out. We had this wonderful moment back in March with March Madness and the success of our basketball team here, where all of a sudden the country heard about Gardner-Webb and Boiling Springs. And we want to build on that momentum. We want them to know that there's not just excellent athletics here, but that we have incredible academic programs and incredible world-class scholars and students here as well. So we will seize upon that opportunity to make sure that our name and our brand is familiar to people across the state and across the region. And we're going to tell a very compelling story about Gardner-Webb and make sure everybody hears that. And I believe the last question that we have time for today is this, and it's another effort to get a glimpse into me and my life. It says, what are some small things that you do each day to make your day better? Number one, I drink way too much coffee. Number two, I always find a time to laugh at myself. That makes life a little bit easier. And number three, I always make sure to take time to remind myself just how blessed I am. And I'm incredibly blessed to be starting here as the new president of Gardner-Webb University. I can't wait to meet you people and go beyond an online format here and shake your hand and sit down with you and hear about your dreams and aspirations for our institution and our community. But I love the fact that we had this first opportunity. I look forward to many more. I thank you for your attention, and I hope you have a great Wednesday. Talk to you later.